the thing that Brad's doing that I think is really impressive is that he's doing the damn thing Brad's way, and it's not clear what he's doing at the moment, but it feels it's different than when Danny would do things and it would take like forever to figure out what the hell he was trying to do.
It. Yeah, it's like one of those things you have to see in hindsight. You understand.
Yeah, but like Brad is like kind of keeping us off balance with some of his moves, but it doesn't take a ton of time to realize, oh, okay, wait a minute. So you're gonna give Josh Richardson an extra year so that Josh thinks that we're investing in you, but at the same time, we may be doing that. But if we want to cut ties with you, you're more attractive to cut ties with now. So you get more money, we get a potential better trade chip in return if we move you, and everybody's winning. So. Brad, I think there's a clearer train of thought to what Brad is doing down the road than there was with Danny, and that just kind of brings me to the question I posed this a little bit earlier. I mean, who do you like more, Brad Stevens the GM or Brad Stevens the coach?
As you were talking before you asked me that question, the first thing I thought about was how did Brad Stevens make such a seamless transition into that front office? Was it the mentorship of Danny Ainge? Was it just him soaking up basketball for so long and seeing the ins and outs of different organizations? Because I really do like him as a general manager because he's been making moves that like you said, we see him working towards the future, but also working for the immediate future, long-term and short-term goals, essentially. And he does it in a way where you're like, it's like banger, like when an artist puts like hit after hit. That's what he's doing right now. I don't know how long he will keep up the momentum, but as of now, it's looking really promising. And if I was a Celtics fan, then I'd look at what he's doing for the organization, and I would definitely want to see him in that role for long term because, again, having that coaching mindset and knowing the players that he's worked with, the players that he's played against, he's watched so many hours of film throughout the NBA that he knows what's out there, and he seems to be really good enough with numbers too to always be thinking about cap space and really making it all work together. So he's the perfect person for this role. Again, it's something that I think when we look back on this organization years from now, obviously that's when the time will truly tell. But I think as of right now, I'm giving him a grade A because I just think that the moves he's doing for this team are very intentional. And yes, sometimes you have to make hard decisions for a team, but everyone that I think that knows him also seems to understand that the way he's making a business move is definitely different from the way that Danny Ainge has been perceived when he makes moves or has made moves for the Celtics.
Right. Well, first off, shout out to my man Mike Zarin, who is just low key,
always in the background.
The assistant GM, legal counsel guy with the Celtics. I mean, he does an amazing job just making all the numbers dance together, do the damn thing together. And he's one of my favorite people in the organization because he's just one of them low key, get the job done. I don't need the fanfare. Don't quote me. Don't do it. I'm just getting the job done, and I have much respect to him for that. But here's the thing: I would give Brad an A-, and here's why. He's made good deals, but not great ones. He's made smart deals, but not like Einstein genius. Damn. All of a sudden, the Celtics are now a title contender move.
That's fair.
He hasn't done those type of moves yet.
Yeah.
But what I do like about him as a GM is that he seems to have benefited from his time as a coach. I remember there's so many times when, you hear about Doc Rivers having coach/GM responsibilities with the Clippers. You see Thibodeau having coach/GM responsibilities. And we'd ask Brad about that, and he'd be like, no, I'm good. I'm good in my role right now. I'm a coach. Danny does the GM stuff. We're all good. And now when he had the opportunity to double dip, because the Celtics, they would not have pushed back if Brad said, let me GM and coach.
I'll do both.
They would not have pushed back on that. But Brad was smart enough to get out of that position of coaching in time to pivot into a position where he would be more prepared for that position than the challenges that would have faced him if he came back as a head coach. Because if he came back as a head coach and they didn't do anything with the
he would have been cut.
He would have been on the hot seat.
He knows that, yes.
Yeah, I mean, you know, you would have seen steam coming from behind Brad's backside. And you wonder, what's up with Brad? Oh, that's called the hot seat, baby. Brad ain't never been on that before. We've never seen him on that before. So shout out to Brad Stevens for being smart enough to pivot into a new role that would give him new responsibilities and, frankly, an opportunity to write a new narrative on who he is. I think back to those early years when Danny Ainge was trading players away, like back in the day, we traded baseball cards when we was kids. Like, hey man, you got that Shaq. Yo, I got that Shaq. I give you this John Stockton, and I give you this other card. Danny Ainge was flipping players left and right, and Brad was just taking that in stride. And Brad would always say the right thing, that I'm just gonna put
always
that or given to me. That's my job as a coach. Play what I'm handed. But there had been a piece of him that's thinking like, damn, Danny, can a brother get some players for like a week that I can work with? I mean, it was to the point where, I mean, it was like
he probably didn't know the roster one day.
Yeah, I mean,
who's on my team today?
Yeah, exactly. Like Brad, about player X, like, oh, is that done? I knew we were talking about it.
He was here yesterday.
Yeah. So I think that experience has helped him as a GM because he is making some very deliberate moves that are going to give Ime Udoka a chance to have solid, established, proven guys who ain't looking over their shoulder for a contract year. Re-signing Marcus Smart, he ain't looking over his shoulder this year. Giving Josh Richardson another year, he's good. Tatum is straight. Brown is straight. You start looking at Rob Williams now got his money. So now you got guys who are just simply going to go out and play hard. They ain't worried about the money. They're not worried about the contract. They're worried about playing time. And that is what I think is really the narrative that Brad Stevens has created this year. He's created a team of competitors, guys that have nothing to focus on but getting your ass ready to play ball and help this team win games. You don't have to worry about your money because your money is there. You got your money. You straight. That is not going to be something you need to think about. It's something that we're not going to be talking about because everyone is good.